There are thousands, if not millions of people around the world who are impolite, blunt, and really, really repulsive, who show repulsive behavior when talking to people, when communicating, and whatnot. However, they seem to be a lot more successful. However, we as people and humans like to build relationships both professionally and personally, and we like everyone else to like us, and we like to be more charismatic, in short. So if you're a person who wants to see more charismatic and want to gravitate people towards you, then this video is right for you guys. So stay tuned till the end of this video. But before that, do subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up so that I can come up with more and more videos for all of you guys. So let's get started. All of us, if not all of us, most of us at least, have this habit of finding all the negative points in people's communication, all the information they share with us, or whatever small talk that we have with people. However, people who are extremely charismatic or charming actually look for points where they can actually agree with the person. Wherein you are looking for points that you can actually disagree on and correct the person, the people who are highly charismatic look for small details or small points where they can actually agree with the other person standing right in front of you. So the one thing that charismatic people do is they always try to find points where are actually common between you and them, and once you find those common agreeable points, they actually hit those points and actually seem more and more charismatic to the other person, and that is how they build rapport with them.
And you're good at reading people.
Yes, I am. Which is why I've been able to detect an undercurrent of sarcasm in your voice.
So the next time you want to look more charismatic or charm someone, then look for points of agreement between you and the other person, rather than looking for points where you can actually correct that person. Even if they are subtle points, then find agreement. Remembering names is the second most important point. A person with high level of charisma or charm is actually good at remembering names. The very first thing that you can do while meeting a person and getting to know his name is never to forget it, so that the next time you meet him and you call him by that name, right, he will actually like you 10 times more, trust me. And the very first thing that you guys need to remember is that the people who actually are very charismatic always use the other person's name when in conversation at least 3 times. There is nothing more sweet sounding to a person more than his own name. So the next time you want to see more charismatic to someone, or you want the other person to like you, whether it be a guy or a girl, remember his name and always use his or her name in the conversation minimum 3 times. Remember this.
Penny.
Who do we love?
Penny.
Who do we love?
Penny.
Hello, Sheldon. Come on in.
The third most crucial point that makes people more charismatic and charming is this point. Remember this. Write it down if you have to. Be interested rather than being interesting. Now, in today's world, a lot of us want others to like us, and in doing so, we often brag about us or the kind of qualities we have, or you try to impress someone by showing what all things we can do, or what all things that we are masters of, or are learned in. But you know what? People don't give a damn, at least in the first meeting. The only way that you can actually be more charismatic and show more charm to the other person, whether it be a guy or girl, is you be more interested in what the other person has to say or what the other person is. You can do this by asking them open-minded questions about their life, their desires, their wishes, and their dreams, rather than telling them or giving loads of information on what you like, what you want, and what you have plans to do in future. This simple trick can actually raise your charisma level to 10 times than what you already are, and make you seem more likable and gravitating to the other person. Simple as that. Now the fourth important point is the power of the subtle touch. Now what charismatic and people with high level of charisma do is, during a conversation, what they do is they actually give a small touches to the other person, like a pat on the back, or like a high five, or a simple shake hand while leaving can actually leave a long lasting impression on the other person, whether it be a guy or a girl. But remember, the touch has to be really subtle, and it has to be very simple, and non sensual, and totally it should be such that the person actually does not find you creepy. For example, you go on a business meeting or you meet a person. The first thing that you need to do is shake hands with them. And during the conversation, if it's a very non-professional conversation, you just give them a short pat on the back or a short pat on the shoulder. Or if you are leaving at the end of the conversation, give a firm handshake or a high five, or even during the conversation, give a high five. High five is like the best, subtle touch to actually make the person like you 10 times more. And this will actually, gravitate the other person and make him want to meet you again and again in future. And that's simple as that. You might be meeting a lot of people who have that natural knack to openly talk to anyone, goddamn anyone in the world, and start conversations automatically and make the other person like them, as though they are like a god descended from heaven. And you might be confused at how do they actually do it. Now, let me share a very, very crucial secret to this. They are never, ever, afraid to show their vulnerable side to them. Remember this word, vulnerable side to them. They are always fearless while showing their vulnerability, or they are always ready to show their faults to the other person. This can actually leave a long-lasting impression and make you look like a genuine person. If you have fear of heights, or if you have fear of animals, or if you have fear of any person or any sort of phobia, people with high levels of charisma, make it as though it's no big deal. It's just like a normal thing. In today's world, a lot of us are actually readily, trying to, hide all our faults and make us look as though we are flawless. But I hate to break it to you guys that this doesn't really work. If you want to be really a lot more charismatic, a lot more confident, and a lot more likable to the other person, you need to actually be a lot more vulnerable and show your vulnerable side to the other person, and never ever hesitate to show your faults to the other person, but do it very subtly. Don't be too creepy while doing it. Be very genuine and be very honest while sharing all of your vulnerable side. And if you actually learn the knack of showing your vulnerable side to a person in a way, then they will actually love you, not like you, love you, and will actually die to meet you for a second time. Now, with this note, we have come to the end of this video. If you found any of this content useful, then type in the comment box useful, and do subscribe to my channel, and kudos to all of you guys.